Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging, where in every episode, my guests and I, we strive to offer you proven tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive difference in the world. Now, today we have 4 great segments for you, and our trusted expert guests, they're going to give you proven action steps that you can take right now easily that will help you to overcome whatever wellness challenge that they are addressing. And so be sure and watch the whole show, because at the end we're going to let you know how you can get the free gifts that all of our experts are offering to you. So the titles of today's 4 episode is number 1, it's all about brain entrainment. You're going to learn about a powerful brain entrainment brainwave entrainment system that can easily dissolve the mental and emotional blocks that are holding you back from the success that you desire. Second interview is entitled The Secret Language of the Body. You're going to learn how to awaken the healer within. The third segment is called Fearless at Any Age. Our guest is going to give you the 3 keys for turning the life you desire into your reality. And number 4 is how to get into great shape with just 2 to 3 17-minute workouts per week. All right, we're ready to go. Up is the first interview.
It's recording now.
Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this segment is How to Easily Dissolve the Mental and Emotional Blocks that Hold You Back from Success. And I think we all need some of this, so this is going to be a really interesting segment. And our expert guest is my friend Maury Zelkovich. He's a brainwave entrainment expert. He's the creator of the Mind Trainer Pro system, and he is dedicated to helping others improve their life naturally without drugs with his Mind Trainer Pro system. So Maury Zelkovich, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Rico. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always good to see you, Maury. Okay, so we got a lot to unpack here. This is so much stuff, interesting things that you're doing. So off your website, it says that you have science-backed brainwave entrainment that only takes a few minutes a day, and that your Mind Trainer Pro, it helps you unlock peak mental performance, reduce stress, boost productivity, and it's using proven neuroscience and proprietary audio-visual technology. So again, there's a lot to go through with this. So how about we start with exactly what is brain entrainment?
So everyone who's listened to music that they like and they tap their feet kind of mindlessly, or they bop their head back and forth mindlessly, that's a form of entrainment. So basically what it is we're getting your neurons, your brain cells, to act and react in sync with tones, basically ba 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 kind of beats, so that we can dictate the kind of chemistry that they release. It turns out it's your brain's chemistry that allows you to feel things. If you're happy, if you're sad, if you're in love, if you hate, if you're scared, whatever, all these things are the result, your experience of them, let me rephrase that, is the result of neurochemistry that your brain creates. By using these tones and properly engineered entrainment, we can create states that give us beneficial results, as opposed to the ones that might make us afraid or scared or, unhappy, for instance.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know how music affects us. No question about it. It can make you feel good or happy. But how was it developed? I mean, how did they determine, what different beats and sounds could actually affect different emotions?
Well, it all started probably with prehistoric humans banging against a rock or a log.
Yeah.
But the science of the mind, the science of the brain, psychology, neurology, these kinds of things, upon studying different effects of different stimulation and sound, vibrational energy, that kind of thing, was one of the things they just naturally studied, because they saw that it had outward effects without having to do a clinical study. You can, like you said, with music, certain music makes some people happy, other people it upsets, other people it excites, other people it puts them to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is why? And the answer is the neurological effect and the psychoactive effect of the tones, the music, the beat pattern on the psychology, on the neurology of the brain. So to get rid of all the sciencey talk, basically how it affects the muscle that is your mind. That's really what it does. It helps to have a positive, beneficial effect on the brain, takes advantage of natural processes which occur when we hear sounds, when we see things. And we just take that to the next logical step to help people to feel better, to be smarter, faster, stronger, that kind of thing.
But still, it's still a little bit difficult to understand because I mean the mind is separate from the brain. I can see how different tones can stimulate certain brain waves and maybe alter the brain waves, but the mind is where our emotions really come from, right? I mean, what we're thinking and feeling.
Well, as far as we know, we don't really know that much about the mind and the brain. The mind is like the energy, if you will. The esoteric part, the brain is the physical structure. Mm-hmm. They are separate, but they're also very much in sync. At least while we're human beings on this planet, they're in sync. So like I said, our thoughts create brainwave patterns. Mm-hmm. That's one way to create brainwave pattern. It's a form of stimulation. Our thoughts are inspired by what we see, what we feel, what we smell, what we touch. All these different things inspire our thoughts. Our thoughts then create brainwave activity, and that brainwave activity creates chemistry, and that chemistry creates your ability to have an experience. Mm-hmm. So someone could slap you in the face, and if your brain didn't tell you you were slapped in the face, you wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't feel anything. You wouldn't know your head flew off to the side and came back. None of these things would be known. So whereas the mind is something that you can look at as separate from the brain, from a functional aspect, they're very much attached to each other.
Yeah. Well, I guess because the mind's not a physical entity, but the mind is definitely affects the brain, right?
Well, sure. Like I said, the stimulation, if you walk into a room and you have a husband or a wife or a child or a cat or a dog or a goldfish, and one of these things you feel warm and fuzzy about, there's a reason why you feel warm and fuzzy. And that's because of how your mind is perceiving the stimulus of your dog jumping up on you, your wife giving you a hug, or your husband giving you a hug or a kiss or whatever. Mm-hmm. So all of these different stimulation patterns create a feeling inside of us. You can get like 3 people in an airplane and they're all going to jump out and parachute. And one person's really excited to get to altitude so they can jump. Another person decided, you know what, I'm not going to go on this plane. Right? And another person says, I don't really care either way. Well, it's the same stimulation, but 3 different reactions. Yeah. So that's where the mind comes in. Yeah. The brain in all cases knows that you're going to jump. The mind is what stops you from jumping, makes you excited or bored or indifferent.
Right. Well, let me ask you, I mean, there are a lot of different, mind programs out there and all this, different sound programs. So what kind of makes yours different? And I know you have lots of different programs for all different things that you can help people with. So how did you go about determining, like, okay, this sound's going to help you to reduce stress or reduce anxiety or make you be able to have more confidence or how did you go about determining that?
So there's actually a ton of evidence. There's a ton of actual scientific studies done, not just on brainwave entrainment, but sound in general, visual stimulation, how it affects the brain neurologically, how it affects its psychologically. So there's a lot of information out there, but you can also experiment. I mean, it's not hard to put a pair of headphones on somebody and observe them. Observe yourself first and then observe others. And when you find something that's kind of common to the two, now you have something you can thread in or sew into a recording that, you can, I mean, assuming is not really a good thing, but, science is about learning. It's not about knowing. Mm-hmm. Most of what we know today in 15 years, 20 years, we'll think differently. So what did we know? We didn't know anything. We had an understanding. 100 years ago, we had a bunch of supposed truths that turned out to not be true.
Right.
That's because we have better detection equipment now. We have better telescopes, better microscopes, better understanding. Well, everything we think we know now, it's probably the same as it was 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. We think we know what we're talking about, but we really don't. And as we learn more and as we learn how to measure more and interpret better, we'll come up with different ideas and different concepts. So in my view, there's no such thing as truth or fact. There's just understanding.
Yeah. Well, what I find really interesting is what you've done is, like I say, most of the issues that we are mentally dealing with, like you say, anxiety or lack of confidence or all these different things, that you develop a different program for each one of those. So I highly encourage people to go to your website, mindtrainerpro.com, and we'll put all these links in the chat, in the show description, so you can go and check that out. But also, I know you have a great gift for our audience. It's called the Quantum Mind Method. It's about Alpha Flight Audio. Talk a little bit about what this free gift can offer people.
Sure. So the Alpha Flight recording was originally created for Dr. Doris Helge, who part of her clientele is high-powered executives who travel a lot. And they needed something to help them with jet lag and things like that. So it's about a 15-minute recording. There's no spoken word aspect. You put on an ordinary pair of stereo headphones. You close your eyes, you lean back with head support, or you lie back in a bed or on a couch, and you just hit play. It doesn't matter if you fall asleep, if you're awake, if you pay attention, if you think things, makes no difference at all. You're going to hear shh, you're going to hear ba 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 ba, and these will combine to have that kind of effect on your brain that releases the kind of chemistry that helps you to relax and unwind and just be more in the moment.
Yeah,
it's really quite simple to do.
Yeah, it is. It is really easy. I've been listening to him, and I find it kind of relaxing. I find it quite really relaxing. Yeah, that's so good. I guess my last question is, I'm sure you must. I forgot this, but you probably have a program too to actually get people to take action, because I always like to end all my shows by saying, we offer you some great information and wisdom, but knowledge without action is useless. So what can you say that you have a program that can help people to actually take action on what they're learning and what they want to achieve?
The interesting thing is most of my systems have that kind of recording incorporated, but there is another link. I don't know if you're going to put that in the show notes.
Sure, we can
as well. But it's for the same program, Quantum Mind Method. It leads up to that. But this particular sample is called Digital Coffee. And a lot of people who use it find a lot of energy afterwards, and they find themselves doing things that they've been putting off for a long time. So between Alpha Flight and Digital Coffee, you've got a nice little first aid kit at no cost to you, by the way.
Yeah, that's perfect, because again, that's the thing. It was Einstein who said that famous saying, knowledge without action is useless. So we got to get people to actually step up and take action on what you learned. So, well, Maury, I really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your work. You're doing some great things that can really help people out a lot. So I just highly encourage the audience to go and take advantage of these free gifts and to learn more about all the things that you're offering. So that's it. You just got to step up and take action, right?
That's it. Action knowledge without action, just like Einstein said, is totally useless.
Yeah, or
I could invent the perfect system for you. If you don't use it, it's not going to help you.
Or it's just entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so thank you, Maury. Thank you much for being here, and thanks to our audience for being here.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Rico, for having me.
All right, we're back with the second segment, is the secret language of the body. Hello, welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this episode is a real interesting one that we haven't covered before. It's entitled The Secret Language of the Body, How to Awaken the Healer Within. So this is a great topic. And our expert guest, her name is Ina Siegel. She is a pioneer in the field of energy medicine and human consciousness and the best-selling author of The Secret Language of Your Body. So Ina Siegel, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. This is a great topic, and I'm really interested in it. So it's going to be some great information for our audience. So let's start with just real briefly, just tell us a little bit about how you got interested in this and how you discovered all this secret language of the body.
Well, essentially, I was in a lot of pain, like a lot of people are. At different times, I was going to one doctor, another doctor, and I just wasn't getting better, or chiropractor, physiotherapist. And then I had an experience where finally, after seeing this chiropractor for about a year, I showed up in his office and he said to me, Ina, your body's stuck. And I was like, I know that part. What are you going to do to help me? And he just said, there's nothing I can do. Go home. And I realized at that point that my body had this language, but I just had no idea how to connect with it. And so I made a decision as I went home that I was going to heal myself. Didn't know how to do that, but I counted backwards from 30. I was breathing deeply. I had my hands on my back. I asked for higher help. And then I also asked to see into my body, and not expecting anything to happen, I actually did see into my body. I saw my spine and how inflamed it was. And I started to get these messages and images and understandings that when I was bullied at school, my parents having different conflicts, my grandparents going through lots of trauma, and me just being this sponge had this massive effect on my body. And as I recognized all of this, I fell asleep, woke up the next day, felt about 70% better, and then spent the next several weeks just connecting and discovering this language of my body. And by the end of those several weeks, psoriasis disappeared, never had it back. My back pain improved. Digestive system took way, way longer to look at and discover things because it was connected to lots of trauma. And I realized that I could tune in to people and help them.
Yeah, that's such a great story. And so I think the real message for our audience is, pain is really not our enemy. Pain is the way that our body communicates that something's wrong, what we're thinking, what we're doing, what we're experiencing. We're out of balance, and it's going to cause us really, really problems. So pain is actually good if you tune into it and learn what the messages are. So that is I guess it is kind of secret because we're not taught that. So talk a little bit about some more ways that you discovered. Talk about some of the different languages that our body gives us and how we can interpret that.
So like you said, pain is a message. So every part of the body has wisdom is what I discovered. And it's very logical. So for instance, if you have issues with your eyes, the question we need to ask are, what is it that I don't want to see? What am I seeing that is painful or difficult? And many people start having degeneration with their eyes as they get older because their family is getting sick or dying, or there's too much stress going on. And, if we went through the whole body, we would see that like the throat is all about communication. So when we shut down, we don't communicate, we don't express ourselves, we end up with throat issues or thyroid issues. When we push it back, we have pain in the neck, and we literally say, this person is a pain in the neck because we know subconsciously that this is about how we, communication with other people. I can't talk to them is what we're really saying. Shoulders are all connected to how much weight and responsibility we carry, especially when it's not our own. And this connects into the heart. And so heart is all about responsibility in terms of intimacy. Into me, you see, I connect with you. I love you. I am vulnerable. So we start having heart issues when we shut down. We've been hurt. We've had trauma, and we're super scared of getting hurt again. Digestive system's connected to experience. So even though it's all about, we think, it's about the food we eat, it's food combined with experiences you have, and whether you assimilate that experience or whether something happened to you and you just ignore it and push it away. But it needs attention. It needs you to understand what went on. And many of the diseases in our bodies are actually asking for that. they're asking us to understand. When people have hip issues, I always say, who in your family do you want to replace? Especially if you have a hip replacement, because hip area is all about family and understanding, who do we carry on the hip, on our, what member of the family are we trying to save or trying to take responsibility for? And it's very connected to your shoulders and your neck again, as well. So if your hip is out, your shoulder will be out, it'll affect your neck, it'll affect your thinking. And then we have, our reproductive organs are all connected to our sense of self. Who do we believe we are? And very connected to early age, how we grew up influences our reproductive system, which is very interesting. And also, can I express more of my feminine or masculine? What's happening inside of me? How do I feel about my identity? And then we have our legs, which is all about moving forward. So this is what the body, in a very, very quick way of explaining what the body is really trying to show us.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Louise Hay's work? A long time ago, she came out with that, how all these things and different things that are going on, how it affects different organs and what it means in the body. And I just want to add is that it's common knowledge now that what manifests as an ailment in our physical body begins in our mental emotional state. From stress, just as you were saying, all the stress and all the trauma and things that we experience, but our body is trying to tell us, what's going on. So talk a little bit about that, about how one can actually begin to interpret all these different things, all this different, not only pain, but other just things that are going on in their life that are upsetting them, or all the things that we're dealing with emotionally. They have a message for us.
Well, people need to start to connect to their bodies, right? And sensitize them. And there's many ways of doing it. What most people do is that they try and connect and ask questions when the body is desensitized. And the easiest way to wake the body up and sensitize it is to stand up. And this is something people can do daily. Stand up, place your hands on a part of your body, like let's say my heart. If you don't know, start with your heart or solar plexus and actually go, how do I feel? How does this part of my body feel? And why do I feel like that? Acknowledge that. And then imagine taking any stress out as if it's kind of this ball of energy, ball of dense, heavy energy, might be gray. And then just shake your arm out. And shake out with that intention of I'm letting go, and do that for about 30 seconds. And then you can take a few deep breaths in and actually sense how one side of the body is completely different to the other. And we need to start to acknowledge and recognize this. And then you do the same with the other arm. You bring it back to the same part of the body or a different one. You recognize what the emotion is or the sensation is, you acknowledge it, and then you shake it out to release it. And then you might want to go further, and so you might start going, for the next 30 days, let's say, I'm going to connect to the part of my body that has pain or discomfort or an ailment, and I'm going to ask questions, and I'm going to journal these questions. I'm going to write those things down so that I can create a bigger piece of the puzzle. And so, you'll ask questions like, what thought pattern, like you said, Rico, what thought pattern is stored in this part of my body? What emotion is stored? What experience? And once you've done that, you might talk about this also with family members, or you might start to connect the pieces together and go further and learn more about how to release, let go, and transform. But you need to understand the story.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, we only got a couple of minutes left, so to tell them, I know you have a really interesting free masterclass coming up. So we'll definitely put that information, how people can sign up for your masterclass. But tell us real briefly what people are going to learn in your masterclass.
Beautiful. So in the masterclass, the first thing you're going to do is understand how your body gives you messages, how that occurs through the chakras, how the chakras can be also connected to archetypes and connected to your emotions and everything that I've just talked about, the whole storyline of what happened to you. And then you're also going to have a process, actually 2 processes of connecting to your body, listening to its wisdom, and also transforming old, painful negative belief systems through this particular process. And you can find that on innerseagull.com/masterclass.
Yeah, we'll definitely. I'm definitely going to go there myself. I want to check it out. This is such a interesting topic. Something, isn't it kind of strange? The things we really need to learn, how to get in touch with our body, how to take care of our health, how to build a relationship, all the things that we really need to live well. We're not taught as children, right? But we should be taught these things that you're teaching to little children, right? Because we're feeling beings, right? And so we need to get much better in touch, understand our emotions and what's going on and how we can interpret all these things. So your work is so good. I really appreciate your work, and I appreciate you being here. And so I definitely encourage you, to check out Ina's free master class. It's going to be really valuable. You're going to get some great information. So any last word you'd like to say?
I also encourage people, if they have an opportunity, to look at my book, The Secret Language of Your Body, because there's so many processes and exercises there and ways that you can become your own healer, and you can awaken that within yourself and really use those processes to transform.
Can they find your book on your website?
The easiest way is just to go online or to your bookstore.
Okay.
Your,
all right. Thank you so much. That was great. I really appreciate it. Great interview, and thank you, and thanks to our audience for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back. So I have a short message for you, and then we'll get into segment number 3, which is how to be fearless at any age. All right.
Wake up feeling exhausted, stiff, and sore? Do you feel like no matter how hard you try, those extra pounds won't budge, and the energy and vitality you once had are slipping further away? If this sounds like you, don't give up. Feeling tired and immobile isn't your destiny. It's not too late to take back your energy, your youthful shape, and feel great in your body again. Meet Rico Caveglia, America's healthy aging trainer, creator of the Aging Living Lifestyle and the Vitality for Life Wellness Program. At age 83, Rico has the moves and vitality of someone half his age and has a fitness age of just 35. For over 40 years, Rico has helped hundreds of people just like you regain their energy and vitality. That's agelessliving.lifestyle.com/coaching to learn more and book your free call with Rico to see if you or your parents are a good fit for this transformational program.
All right. So coming up is segment number 3, Fearless at Any Age. Hello, I'm Rico Caveglia. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this episode is entitled Fearless at Any Age. I like that. And so we're going to talk about the 3 keys for turning the life you desire into your reality. And our expert guest today, her name is Patricia Stippler. She's the founder of Creating Top Producers. So she helps entrepreneurs and business leaders, and I think probably most anybody who we all need this, how to master their mindset so they can turn the life they desire into their reality. So Patricia Stippler, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Rico.
Yes, my pleasure. So this is such an important topic because everything starts up here in our mindset, right?
Absolutely.
That's just so important. So how about we start just real briefly? Just tell us a little bit how you. I know you got a lot of experience in all types of business and personal development, but when did you decide that really mindset was the main thing that people really need, and how you began to focus on that?
Well, I did personal development pretty much my entire adult life. And yet it was when my son, actually, when he was 12, he got a full college scholarship, which should not have happened. And he wanted to be a collegiate athlete. And that whole experience just made me go, wait, how did he do this? Because even though I had all this personal development, I'm like, I've never done anything that amazing in my own life. So I had to figure out how he did it. And that led me to Bob Proctor, where he focused on the power of the mind. And he taught me things that I'd never heard before and all that personal development, and just a different way of looking at it and different way of understanding how our mind actually functions and how we can control our own life by just shifting how we're thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just have to ask, so how do you think your son knew that? I mean, obviously your son just had that mindset that I'm going to do it no matter what, right?
Well, that's kind of funny, because when he got the scholarship, that's when I had to figure out how he did it. And so then I spent the next few years trying to explain to him what he had done, because he had no idea. But I remember one time he said to me, he said, well, I told you I was going to get a scholarship, so I figured I'd better figure out how to do it. And that's key. You have to make a decision first. Yeah. And then you have to start putting a plan together and how are you going to do it. And so that's really key in creating the life that you want. And like I said, nothing ever goes the way you expect it to go. You can make the best laid plans and they just don't work, because we don't know everything. We don't know everything that the universe knows.
Yes, but so you got to be adaptable, flexible. You got to be aware of things and be open to change and keep learning.
Absolutely.
So talk about, I mean, this is a big challenge for everybody, not only in business or whatever you want to be successful in. It's always a big challenge to create a mindset that's going to help you to be successful. So I talk about, why do you think that we have such a problem with having the right mindset?
Oh, yeah. That's because our minds have been programmed. They've been programmed genetically. They've been programmed through all our experiences. In fact, by the time we're about 7 or 8, we've just gotten all these messages into our mind, and they just go right into our subconscious. Because at that age, we don't have the ability to block out anything. And so it isn't until you're about 8 that you have that opportunity to really start to think. And then some people just don't bother to think much, and they just continue to allow thoughts to come into their mind, and then it molds us into who we are. But by age 8, our self-image is pretty much set unless we intentionally decide to change it.
Yeah, I think that's a message for parents too, that we really got to reprogram or program our children, that they can, how they should think about what the possibilities are in their life. I think another point, isn't it true that, originally, I think it's our amygdala, part of our amygdala brain is tuned in to be aware of what's going on. Could in those days, you just be walking out and you could be, a tiger could jump on you or something, right? So that's why I think we always go so much into, when something happens, we immediately start being fearful of it or concerned about what could happen when it's not even something that's probably going to happen. So, but we haven't been, I guess we haven't evolved far enough to get rid of that thing, so every little thing gets us all upset and puts us out of a positive mindset, right?
Right. And we have to realize that some of that subconscious is protecting us. It is protecting, and that's the intention. But we also have to, start to think about what it is that we want. But you're right, that fear can get in the worry and the doubt. And then we focus on that instead of focusing on what we really want.
Exactly. That's a key. We got to keep your attention on what you want, not what you don't want. So talk about some of the posters. We're going to talk about these 3 main steps that you have people go through to begin to really reprogram themselves and have the mindset that's going to help them to create the life they desire.
Well, first of all, I want them to be aware of their thoughts, the things that come to their mind, and start to really realize, does that make sense? Or is that what I've been programmed? Is that what, my mom thought, or, my grandmother thought? And really start to focus on that. And then I think the other thing we really need to look at is a goal that excites us. You have to have something in your life that you're looking forward to. And I think that happens a lot as people get older. They think, what else is there? And they just kind of don't really go after another goal because maybe they're done working or things like that. And I think we always have to have something we're looking forward to in our life. And then it's that focus, keeping focused on it and what behaviors or actions maybe we have to change in order to accomplish it.
Isn't it about purpose? Really, always having some purpose in our life. Our purposes can change as we go through life.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Isn't that the key? Because just like what I teach, as far as health and wellness, and is what I realize why so many people don't take better care of their health is because they're not living their life purposely. And so if you're not really excited about your life and you have a purpose and that which makes you excited about your life, right? Mm-hmm. Then why you don't have any really motivation to take better care of your health. So talk a little bit about how people can discover and really live their life more purposely.
Well, I agree with what you're saying there because as I was raising my children, my purpose was to be a really good mom and to raise 3 children that were productive in society. And then as my 3rd child, which was my son that got the scholarship, as he went to college, I'm like, okay, now what? What's my purpose now? And that's when I really started to get into, having my own business and helping other people to realize they have more potential inside of them. So I really do think that we have to make that shift in our own thinking and live with purpose and figure out, sometimes you might have to sit down for a day or a week or, a month to figure out, what do I really want to do? Where is that excitement? What can I get behind? And, there's so much opportunity out there in the world today, and there's so many things that we can be doing. But why not find something that really kind of lights us on fire, makes us excited to get up in the morning?
Yeah, that's a good message. Well, I know you have a great gift for our audience. Talk about that, your book, what's it, Unstoppable?
It's called From Stuck to Unstoppable.
Oh, okay.
And that's the way I felt for a long time. I felt like I was stuck where I was. And how do you become unstoppable? Well, you become unstoppable by setting those goals and figuring out what it is that you want to do and finding that purpose. And so that's a free gift I'm offering to you today, is to get that guide that will just kind of map out this whole plan for you as to how to really shift your life and become unstoppable.
And again, it really begins with your mindset, right? Just like your son, he just innately said, "Hey, this is what I want, and I'm going to go for it." And I don't know, why do you think more people are not? Well, it takes courage, for one thing, to just go for what you really want. But maybe quite often, a lot of people don't really know what they want. So what ideas can you give people to how they can really determine what they really would want their life to be like?
So I think, what stops people from going after what they want is they don't believe they can get it.
Yeah.
And so that belief is there. And, again, going back to like parents or grandparents or, be careful what you say to your child, because even though I never believed my son would get a scholarship, he never knew that until after he'd already gotten it. And I told him, years later that I never thought he would, but he never knew that. And so we have to be really careful that we don't limit what we think we can do or what we think somebody else can do. And instead of focusing on those limitations, think about what you want, and keep that focus on, I don't know how I'm going to get it. You don't need to know how. You just need to know what you want. Yeah. And the how will start to appear in front of you.
Well, tell our audience, I know you have a coaching program. Tell how they can get a hold of you and a little bit about how you can help them.
Yes, the easiest way is to book an appointment with me, and that should be in the show link also. And we'll book a clarity call so that we can see like where you are, where you want to go, and try to get that map and that plan laid out for you. And, if it seems like we're a good fit, great. We'll do a coaching together.
Good. Yeah, we'll give you all that information. So we only have about a minute left to go. So just give our audience maybe 1 or 2 quick steps. What should they do right now they've been listening to this, and hopefully we got them inspired. So what would you recommend that they begin to do right now, something they can do right now that'll get them on the right path?
Well, first of all, I would, every time you have a thought that's a little negative, change it around and think about how you can shift that to a positive. But one thing I think would be so helpful is every day, just take 5 minutes and just sit someplace quietly and focus on what you want and let that picture evolve. And even if you can't think of anything for the first maybe 10 days, just take that 5 minutes and just concentrate on what it is you want. And then I would start writing it down.
Yeah, journaling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. And just, okay, we're almost out of time, but just say, just mention how soon they can expect some results if they do that. If they just start doing what you just said, how soon do you think they're going to get some results?
When you become aware of your thoughts, you'll start to get that right away, because you'll say, why am I thinking that? And so that's an immediate thing. And with the thought, I would say 10 days, you'll start to see that picture evolve, and you'll start to get excited about what the possibilities are.
Very good. Well, Patricia, thanks so much for being here. You have a great message, and I really appreciate what you're offering to our audience. So thanks very much for being here, and thanks to our audience for being here as well.
Thank you, Rico.
Okay, we are back. Okay, so we have one more session for you, and it's actually going to be I guess I'm interviewing myself, actually. So I think this is an important session. It's it's what I call how to get fit fast. And I want to just let you know that I promise you that you really can get into good shape, no matter what shape you're in now, with just short bouts of exercise for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, just 2 to 3 times per week. So, the biggest excuse that I've always heard from people through the years is, I don't have enough time. Everybody's so busy. And I understand if you got family and businesses and all these things going on, but everybody has 15 to 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week. So you can't use that excuse anymore at all. And so I got a message for you about it, and then I also have a little commercial that talks about one of my clients, how she loves it, and also what it's all about and how you can check it out. All right, so here I have 2 very important questions for you, and if your answer is yes to these 2 questions, you're going to love what I have for you. It will be truly life-changing. Question number 1, do you want and need to get in better shape and have more energy and better health so you can function better and live a more productive, long life? If so, the second question is, do you have just 17 minutes, 2 times per week to get into the best shape of your life? I'm pretty sure that you do. And I promise you that this is what you've been wishing for, a quick and very effective way to reduce stress, reduce excess body fat, have better sex, get fit, and look and feel much better. Hello, I'm Rico Cavaglia, creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle and the new Fast Fit 17 Fitness System. And I've had the good fortune to be a personal trainer and health coach for the past 39 years. And I know busy people like you really have a hard time finding time to take care of your physical body the way that you know you should. And I understand where you are in these unprecedented times. You have so many demands on your time, your business, your family, your own health. So that's why I developed this new fitness system that will give you great results in just 17 minutes, 2 times per week. Yes, it's true. Scientific studies have shown that the FastFit 17 system is the fastest way to achieve maximum results in the shortest amount of time. This is a true fitness breakthrough. Now, time is not an issue. Everyone can find 17 minutes 2 times per week. I know you can. So your FastFit 17 fitness system will increase your muscle tone and strength, increase your cardiovascular health, increase your mobility and flexibility, and greatly improve the way you look and feel. Now, there's three main components that make this new revolutionary system work so well. Number one, you will learn the foundational functional fitness exercises that will give you the best full body results without needing any equipment. And number two, you will learn the three things that you must do before beginning your exercises to achieve maximum results. Not many people know about this, and not many people do this. This is really important. And number three, you will learn how to properly execute these safe, time-efficient, and very effective exercises. Again, the execution is so important. The magic is in the system, and it's perfect for busy people just like you at any fitness level, and it can easily be adapted for different health challenges that you may have. So we want everybody to take advantage of this fitness breakthrough. So for a limited time, you can get the entire program for only $17. That's right, just $17. And so you'll receive a video with me showing you precisely what exercises to do and how to execute them properly for maximum results. And along the way, I'll give you fitness tips and some health tips, and also show you how you can progress on your program. You also will get a complete program outline, and plus you get 4 very valuable bonuses that are worth much more than the minimal cost of this program. So I think it's time to love yourself more and to care for yourself more. It's only $17, so don't miss out. Act now. Go to fastfit17.com to order. I promise that you can do this. Okay. All right, we're back again, and I've got one more pre-recorded message here for you, and then I'll wrap this session up for you. Come on.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tess Mauricio, America's favorite dermatologist and founder of M Beauty Clinics in Beverly Hills and San Diego. Rico has been our family's personal trainer for the last 12 years, and recently he introduced us to his Fast Fit 17 training program system, and we really like it. As a busy physician and a mom, it's really hard for me to find time to exercise, but now I feel like I can get a really good workout in just 17 minutes with his Fast Fit 17 system. And I feel like I'm stronger than ever before. So I highly recommend you try it, and I know that you'll find that it'll help you get the results you want.
Now, in just 17 minutes, you can get and stay fit and look and feel your best for life. This will be a life-changing and life-saving experience for you. Yes, it's true. Scientific studies have shown the Fast Fit 17 system is the fastest way to achieve maximum results in the shortest amount of time. This is a true fitness breakthrough. This system was developed particularly for busy people over 40 who know they need and want to get into better shape and have more energy, but feel they don't have the time. Now, time is no longer an issue. We want everyone to take advantage of this fitness breakthrough. So, for a limited time, you can get the entire program for only $17. So don't miss out. Order now at fastfit17.com.
All right, we are back. All right, so I hope you'll take him up on the offer. I know it's the right things. I know it'll get it's how to do the exercises in the proper way and the proper exercises. And again, you absolutely can do them in just 15 to 20 minutes, and you will get some really good results. So you just got to step up and take action on it. You got nothing to lose, but all that excess flabby muscle and excess body fat, and you'll get a lot stronger, tone your muscles up, have a lot more energy. You'll look and feel better. So I highly encourage you to do that. I'm here. I'm doing my best for you guys to get you started on the right track, so you can be healthier and have more energy and look and feel your best for life. So we've got a few minutes left. So I just want to give you this message that, this is really what Fearless Aging and my Ageless Living lifestyle is all about. As you well know, we have a serious health crisis in America. People are becoming old and sick and dying way too young. I don't know if you know this, but science now tells us our genetic potential is to stay healthy to at least to 125. So 125 could be our lifespan, but yet we know that our life expectancy in America is only 76 for men and 79 for women. So that means most people are missing out on 30, 40 years of good living. And I don't want that to happen to myself. I don't want that to happen to my clients, and I don't want that to happen to you. So here's the thing. We now know that the reason people are becoming old and sick and dying way too young is due to our unhealthy lifestyles. Science also has discovered that our genes only play a small role, maybe 10, 15% of how healthy we're going to be and how long we're going to live. So it's really our lifestyles. But that's good news, isn't it? Because you can change your lifestyle. You can learn new healthy habits. And that's what the Ageless Living lifestyle is all about. But here's the thing. Like most people, if you buy into that mainstream narrative that's just the way it is, we're all going to get old and sick and maybe end up in a nursing home and die in our 70s or 80s, well, that's what you're going to create, because your beliefs create your body. Your life, rather. It does create your body too, but it creates your life. So I just encourage you to realize that how important your health is. If you don't have good health, if you don't have lots of energy, how successful can you be in any aspect of your life, and how can you enjoy your life? Our health is everything. It doesn't matter how much money you make, how wealthy you are. If you're not healthy, you're not feeling well, you're not looking well, you're very poor. And it doesn't have to be. So again, I just want to get this message out to you that it doesn't have to be that way. You've just got to take responsibility. You've got to step up and take responsibility for your life. And I promise you can do this. I know that you can. I know my Ageless Living lifestyle wellness system, which is a complete mind, body, and spiritual wellness system of proven mind, body, and spiritual wellness strategies. I know it works. You can't fail. With the hundreds and hundreds of clients I worked with through these last 40 years, and of course also from my own experience. My chronological age is 83, but yet I still have a fitness age of 35, and that's just because I do what I talk about every day. I do all these things. I work out every day. I drink plenty of water. I eat healthy, real whole foods. I get enough sleep. I work on reducing my stress. All the things that we know that are really simple things to do that will greatly improve our overall health and well-being and our enjoyment of our life and our success. So I just highly encourage you to step up. I encourage you to, if you have any questions or you want to just let me know what health and fitness or nutrition challenges you're having. You can book a call on my website, agelesslivinglifestyle.com. We'll have a friendly conversation. We'll just talk about what your challenges you're having. Everybody's unique. And I'll give you my best tips and strategies to get you going on the right track. And I know it'll make a really big difference for you. And I do have online coaching programs. I can work with people anywhere in the world. So we can also talk about getting some coaching if that's it's a good idea for you, a good fit for you. Coaching is known to be the surest and fastest and way to achieve your goals, of any kind of goals. All right. So I think this is it for today's show. And, I always like to end all of my shows with Einstein's famous saying, knowledge without action is useless. so important to understand. We offer you, all of our guests, we offer you great information, great knowledge, but if you don't act on it, it doesn't do you any good, does it? So you got to take action on it. So, and also, I'd love to hear from you, how you like the show, what topics you'd like to learn about in the future. So again, you can contact me on my website. So I hope you enjoyed today's show, and tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show. So thanks very much for being here. And again, you can also go on my website. You can also subscribe to our show, so you'll know about all the shows that are coming up and all the shows that are, and how you won't miss any of our shows. So thanks very much, and go out and make your life just the way that you want it to be. You can do it, so just do it. Thanks very much.